What's up, everybody? How you doing? My name is Sammy Long. This is another Laker preview video. We're doing one for every game this year. Obviously, second one with Memphis. Lakers played Memphis last week. Did not go the Lakers' way at all. Was a really tough game to watch and kind of felt like a bottom point of this early season so far. But the Lakers have rebounded, got 2 wins since. And looking forward to this game tonight. So gonna get into that later. Gonna talk about some possible trades for center. But first, we'll talk about defensive issues. The Lakers are not a great defensive team right now, and I've been kind of taking that with a grain of salt because Jared Vanderbilt's coming back and Cam Reddish wasn't getting playing time at the beginning of the year. He is now. And the great thing about Cam Reddish is he's actually acquitting himself nice offensively. He's never going to be a big time scorer. He's never going to be a guy you're going to in pressure situations, but he is a guy that you can, if he can get you 8 every night, that's exactly what you need. That's it. He just can't be such a liability that guys aren't even defending him. And what he's brought defensively, Jared Vanderbilt, hopefully coming back at some point. JJ Redick gave an update today or yesterday and said we don't have an update right now. It should be here any minute. It's a little worrisome that they're kind of all cagey with it, but he should come back at some point. So that'll be a big help for the Lakers, especially playing against other teams' really elite guards. Having a lockdown defender that you can deploy on them if they're having a huge game. The Lakers rank the defensive rating is 117.5, which is good for 26th in the NBA. Redick talked about like when they get set on defense in the half court, good things happen. But when they don't run in transition, they're problems. And you can see it. The Lakers, the last few years, have had a lot of problems in transition. And I don't know if it's an effort thing, if it's like a celebrating after they score a bucket. Like, I don't know how many times you've been sitting watching the TV and the Lakers get a huge dunk or a huge shot, and then the other team just runs down and gets a quick deuce. It happened in the Raptors game the other night. It was kind of game was out of hand, but it's like it doesn't matter if you're hitting threes, if you're just giving up an easy deuce the other way. I'm glad that JJ Redick's harping on it because it is easy points. The Lakers are getting away. And when you get set, you give a guy like Anthony Davis, who's an elite defender, to kind of use his post presence. But when you're running in transition and guys aren't getting back, any team in the NBA is going to take advantage of that. And they're easy points. They're easy things to get after. So expected to get better on that end. I think Cam Reddish, having played more and earning time, they keep raving about him. Austin Reeves, JJ Redick, about what he's kind of brought to the team. I do like that, the whole D'Lo on the bench, just worrying about scoring for D'Lo and not really having, because the problem is you had two guards who were deficient on the defensive end with Reeves and D'Lo. So when they're both out there, it's tough because teams are just exploiting that. When there's one of them out there, in Cam Reddish can kind of hide the other one, and you can kind of bury them in the defensive sets a little bit versus when they're both out there and it feels like a field day for other teams, opposing point guards, shooting guards. So I like that JJ Redick's kind of staggered it. And you've seen D'Lo get off on the bench a little bit. And I like that. It's like, hey, if D'Lo's cooking and he wants to close the game, that's great. And hey, D'Lo might work himself back into the starting lineup. But as I mentioned in the last video, Lamar Odom, pivotal on those Laker championship teams. He came off the bench. He was a sixth man. Just having the role of starter, you're not having as a sixth man, you don't have to fight for touches. I think it's good for some guys. Some guys' ego doesn't allow them to come off the bench, but you can really succeed. Guys have gotten huge contracts in this league being six mans. And I love that we've heard from D'Lo about how he's just here for the team to win. And he hasn't really been complaining, at least to the media. And it seems like he's playing better because of it. So good. I do think these issues will get resolved. Hopefully Jared Vanderbilt's coming back at some point. But yeah, got to run back in transition. Have to. There was a report this morning per Dave McMenamin about Jonas Valanciunas, who could be on his way to the Lakers, being kind of thought of. He said, this happens sometimes, but you look at Valanciunas, certainly is a name that's legitimately still on the Lakers' radar, and we'll have to see how Washington seasons go. We have Portland having a really terrible start to the year, but Robert Williams III is back in the mix. Now, the Wizards are not very good. They're 2-7, I believe, on the year. Not a team that's really going anywhere. Maybe they'll throw us Kuzma as well. It's wishful thinking. But yeah, so the Lakers are going to need a center. And not good news on Christian Wood. Had a setback. JJ Redick talked about it yesterday in a presser. 4 weeks going to be reevaluated. So that's not even he's coming back in 4 weeks. That could be 4 weeks if we're going to check again. And he's not a very good defender, even though he adds some stuff offensively. So you need a guy that can play defense. And Jackson Hayes, I thought, has played really well this year so far. He's been great. Obviously, the whole situation with the video coming out, we don't know where that's going to go. So the Lakers do need to be checking in on centers because it can't just be Anthony Davis. It can't. We saw what's happened when the Lakers have played the Nuggets, when the Lakers have played some of the Timberwolves at times with the size that they have. You got to have guys to throw at a Jokic. At a Gobert doesn't offer much offensively, but you can't. Anthony Davis can't be collecting fouls early in the game to where he has to go sit. I mean, the team that won in the bubble, that beat Jokic in those Nuggets, you had Dwight Howard, you had JaVale McGee, you had guys just throwing fouls, just taking minutes so AD could get some rest. In the last couple of playoffs, it was an active goal of the Nuggets, and it makes sense. Why wouldn't you to go after Anthony Davis and try to get him in foul trouble early, knowing that then he's got to sit and he's the Lakers' best player. So Valanciunas would be great. Robert Williams III would be excellent. Valanciunas averaging a little over 12 points a game, 7 rebounds, and about 20 minutes played. So his contract is very movable. This was one of the guys that LeBron was rumored to be maybe taking less money for. It was James Harden, Klay Thompson, and Valanciunas. Valanciunas was the one everyone thought the Lakers would get because he was actually a free agent. Harden and Klay had to come through via trade. So I thought that was kind of a tough to work out. But 3 years, $30.3 million. So that's about $10.1 million a year. That's not a difficult salary to match. I think it'd be nice. He's 32 years old. He could really help. And then you could even, versus some teams, if you want to throw in a different kind of lineup, you move AD back to the 4 at times and put Valanciunas at the center spot and really mess with teams and get some size, kind of versus who they're playing, or go more small ball when you're playing like a Warrior team or something like that, where you kind of need to match some of that speed on the outside. But I think this would be a great move. I don't know what the Lakers have to give up for him, but the Wizards probably are on dumpster fire, kind of selling off everybody. So I think you could probably get it pretty affordable. And I think, he's young enough. He's 32. You can take that contract for 2 more years. I mean, Valanciunas could be a very valuable player, and I don't think it would cost much. So I think that'd be something the Lakers should check in on. I'm excited that they are in on it. There's kind of where there's smoke, there's fire. The last couple of months, it's all been about centers. I think it's the trade deadline years. The Lakers are going to make a move. So look at the Grizzlies. Obviously, mentioned earlier, played this team last week. Did not go the Lakers' way. Pretty ugly game. It was close there for a while, for like the first 3 quarters. LeBron had 39 points. Cam Reddish had 15. No one else really did anything. Reeves is all right. He had like 19. But D'Lo had a tough night shooting. Rui and AD did not play in that game. And Gabe Vincent, Max Christie. It was a tough night all around. People really weren't helping out. LeBron. That was kind of the most discouraging part of that game. Was not going into it. You figured it was going to be a tough to expect a win considering Rui and AD were out. But if they would have fought and Max Christie or Gabe Vincent would have had big games and they lost in the end to a good Memphis team, I think people would go, okay, all right, well, you're on the road, whatever. The fact that LeBron had 39 points and no one else helped, and it felt like kind of a flashback of the last few years where it's like AD and LeBron are doing everything, and when they're not Superman, and he was Superman in that game, they're not going to win. So I think that was kind of depressing about that game. But Lakers responded very well. The bench has been contributing a lot better, I think, with D'Lo moving down there. Gabe Vincent showed a few signs of life in the last game against the Raptors, so hopefully he can kind of get going a little bit. He needs to get more confident with that shot. They got to figure out what's going on with Max Christie. He's got to reset because he was not playing well, but he can't make $8 million a year to sit on the bench and not play. So that's got to be figured out, and hopefully he can kind of get his rhythm back and some confidence back. The Grizzlies tonight, though, not going to have John Morant. He is dealing with a hip sublation. Desmond Bane is out with an oblique strain as well. So they're missing 2 of their best players. Gigi Jackson's out. Cam Spencer's out. Vince Williams is doubtful. He could play tonight. Marcus Smart and Brandon Clark are questionable. Michael Wallace reporting Smart will go through warmups and it is trending to play. So that's a big get back for them at the guard spot. He got injured a couple weeks ago. And it looks like he'll be making his return tonight. But this is not a team to take lightly, even without those guys. Last 2 games, they didn't have Ja. They beat the Wizards 128-104. Jaren Jackson at 39 points. He's been playing unbelievable. And then they beat Portland 134-89. Wow, it's a college basketball score. And Jackson had 20. Scottie Pippen Jr., that makes me sick. Scottie Pippen Jr. is balling out, and I mean, looks like he would be amazing on the Lakers bench right now. Amazing. That is exactly what the Lakers need, and it's a bummer that he was in the program, in the system, and got away, and Memphis got him now, and good for him. He's balling out. Hopefully, he doesn't ball out against us tonight. I'm sure he will want to prove a point or something like that. But Jake Laravia, really nice, come off the bench. Jalen Wells, Santi Aldama, they have a great amount of centers between Jaren Jackson Jr., Zach Edey, obviously rookie out of Purdue, played great this year, and Jay Huff. So all three of those guys get run. So the Lakers got to match that size. And AD, as we mentioned, kind of in the playoffs, can't get in foul trouble early tonight. And Jackson Hayes got to have a big performance because they throw size at you at all times, and they're really going to be throwing size with Ja out and some of the guards out, Desmond Bane out. They're going to try to make this a physical, kind of muddy game. I think the Lakers are going to play well tonight. Definitely going to want some get back. Even though Ja's not playing, he hit LeBron with the too small, talking about he doesn't like the Lakers. The Lakers can be fired up for this one. Anthony Davis and D'Lo are probable. Jackson Hayes is questionable. He is questionable, so I forgot to mention that. Hopefully he does run tonight because we're going to need that size. The Lakers are currently favored by 6.5, total at 231.5. So, all right, let's go. Let's get a third straight win. Kind of get this thing rolling. I think the Lakers are going to come out and play well tonight. And thank you guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you.